Hi, I'm Diptoshree Basu. I'm a final year student of NUJS Kolkata, and in IDIA I'm leading the teams for Sikkim and Northeast and West Bengal and diversity at home.
So Diptoshree, what prompted you to become a part of this project?
Okay, this project started sometime in April 2010, and it was initiated by Professor Shamnath Bashir at NUJS. What we were told that this project aims to increase the diversity of the student composition at law schools. By that, what IDEA aims to do, it visits rural India, places which are otherwise not represented in law schools, and we select some underprivileged students through an aptitude test, very bright kids, we select only them, and once they are selected, we train them for CLAT, that is the National Admission Test for Law. If these students are able to crack CLAT, then what we intend to do, we provide them 100% scholarship for these 5 years at law school. So my aim, when I was in law school, what I experienced was this total lack of diversity. As we understand, diversity is very important in the profession of law. The more diverse views we get in a classroom, the better for us to develop our arguments, the better for a law student to develop his arguments, his or her arguments. So I was motivated by this diversity objective for the upliftment of the underprivileged and reaching out to students in rural areas, because what we have in law school is mostly the urban elite, and I thought that it was a good initiative in that sense.
And how much of your time does it typically take? I mean, this involvement with the project, are you able to spend sufficient time? Is it, give us an idea of the kind of work it involves. What are the, as a team leader, what kind of work do you do? What are the teams working with you? And what are the various activities that you do?
Okay, I am currently leading 3 teams under IDEA, the West Bengal team, the Diversity at Home team, and the Northeast team. Needless to say, it takes up a lot of my time. Every day about 5 to 6 hours is spent coordinating with the other volunteers of IDEA, the local representatives at the other national law schools, and of course the students who I also train. So apart from my role as a team leader, I am also expected to train students in the West Bengal and Diversity at Home chapter. So we have regular classes here in NUJS, and it does take up a lot of my time.
And what do you think about students at the law schools in general? Do you think that there is a fair amount of social sensitivity? Do you think people are appreciative of activities that are aimed at bringing about more social change, or do you think the majority of law school students still are only concerned about jobs, money, law firms, etc.?
Okay, in my experience in the last 5 years, I would say I've come across students, there is a good mix of both. I have come across students who are very socially conscious, very socially aware. They want to give back to society in some way. Obviously, people have different ways of giving back to society. You need not go back to your hometown, set up an NGO, set up a school. But I have come across students who want to do that. That is their way of giving back to society. But I wouldn't say that everybody is obsessed with a high-paying salary or a high-paying job at a law firm. It depends on individual ambitions. But overall, since we have students from elite background, students from urban areas in India, they do have a general mindset that all I'm here to do is to get a good package, a good salary, and a good job that's going to give me financial security, get me some kind of status in society, some power, and not so much in terms of giving back to society, as in doing good for the underprivileged or for the upliftment of poor. Not so much. The general mentality is the aim here is to secure a good job.
So you mentioned that a large portion of the students currently are from the urban elite. So I assume that some of the students would also, you'd have a minority of students also from marginalized backgrounds. Now, what is your experience of those students? Do they integrate well? Is the law school atmosphere good for them? Or do law schools need to work much harder at making the environments more friendly towards marginalized sections?
Yes, obviously, I think that there is some lack of integration here in law schools. We do have some students from smaller cities, some students from rural areas, and the diversity survey that IDEA has conducted, if we look at the responses there, we notice that some students have mentioned that they face discrimination in the way they dress, in the way they talk. There is a lack of fluency in English. Maybe that is a way of discriminating against them. Or let's say students are from a remote area, then I have even heard people calling them dehatis. So that, I think we really need to work on that, and I think IDEA is doing a great job there. We are looking to change the mindset of people in law schools, that what we're looking to do is, you belong to this particular background, so you have this mindset, you have been brought up like this, but there is somebody else who belongs to a different part of society, a different group, but he has been brought up in a particular way. It might be different from you, but that does not make him inferior. That is what we want to inculcate in the students here in law school.
And have you been able to personally change the attitude of any of your colleagues who were not part of the project earlier, but now you've persuaded them to join, or you've changed their thinking that this is a good project?
Yes, there has been, when this project started in April, there were a lot of misconceptions about the project. Several people thought, but they asked me, where is the money coming from? What exactly are you doing? And how do you want to go about? What is the concrete empowerment that you're talking about? So, when you answer these questions, that this is just a project in its inception, and we're just evolving. So we're trying to, as and when we commit mistakes, we're trying to change that, and we're trying to move forward, and we're finding out new ways how to reach out to more people, and how to do away with this discrimination, and bring about diversity in law schools. So some way, I guess, when you can answer these questions, some students are motivated to join IDEA. And while I was working, I've been associated with the project from the beginning, from day one. So I can tell you that while I have been working, when these questions were answered, there have been 2 or 3 of my batchmates who have come forward and taken the initiative. They have become a part of IDEA now, and they're working full time for IDEA.
And in terms of the training programs, are you training all in English, or are there vernacular medium students also?
Okay, the majority of students that I train for the West Bengal chapter, most of them are from Bengali medium students, and there are some Hindi medium students also in the Diversity at Home chapter. So another aim of IDEA is the underrepresented vernacular medium students in law schools. According to the last survey, the NUJS diversity survey, we figured that there is only one student in NUJS in the first year batch who is from a vernacular medium school. So it obviously reflects on the lack of representation from the vernacular medium background. So we look to select students from vernacular medium schools, and I currently train students in Bengali as well as in Hindi, and I do train them for CLAT. But we have about 10 or 12 students who are also from English medium school.